Hi everyone. Thank you for joining today's webinar. Hi, good afternoon. Right, so we are still waiting for people come joining in. There are still a number of them still at the waiting room. We are admitting them inside. Right, please spend some time answering the questions on the screen by using Mentimeter. The instruction is at the top of the screen. So yeah, spend some time and answer it. Once you log into, if you are using Google Chrome, yeah, just type menti.com. Or if you are using Apple iProduct, maybe you launch your Safari and go into menti.com. Once you go into menti.com, they will ask for the code. So the code is 518855. So let's answer this question asking about what comes to your mind when we talk about presentation design. Okay, let's your answer keep coming in. Yeah, we still have many of them waiting at the waiting room. Wow, I can see many participants in this webinar now. More to come. Now we are reaching 84 participants. Not bad. Welcome, welcome. Thank you very much. For those who just joined in, please participate in the questions using menti.com. Right. So using menti.com, answer all the questions that posted here. What's come into your mind when we talk about presentation design? And for those who have answered, thank you very much. There's some housekeeping that we need to take care. Please mute yourself until you speak. Do participate in any activity later on if I ask to do. If you have questions, do answer type it into the chat room. Right, if get ready with pen and paper just to write something that is valuable throughout this webinar. And if you are now browsing Facebook, do come to our page, PowerPoint Advisor, like us, follow us for some PowerPoint tips and tricks. And if you like to watch channels in YouTube, do go into PowerVisualStorytelling channel to get more tips and tricks on PowerPoint, on presentation design per se. Wow, it's reaching about 91 participants now and more to come. I can see inside the waiting room. Inside the waiting room, there are few others still waiting. So for those, I know that some of you are not from Malaysia. So perhaps, if you are from different part of the country or the world, do let us know. Introduce yourself in the chat. Let us know where are you from? Where are you from? And if you are from Malaysia, also do let us know where are you from. I know some from Sabah, Sarawak. Do join us also. Yeah, from East Coast, from North, from South, right? So if you are out of Malaysia, let us know where are you from. Puchong, KK Sabah. Wow, Hannah, thank you for joining. Susan from KL. Hi, Kamkalon. Long time no see since our school time, right? No, some friends are here. Some of my past participants or past students that joined me in my workshop previously, they do come to have some refresher on what this Power Visual Storytelling all about, especially designing. So let me know whether my voice is clear and loud or not. If it's not that clear, let me know in the chat so that I can adjust. Yes, thank you, Yahui. Yes, thanks, everyone. Right, so before I start, again, remind everyone, please mute yourself. Let me show my face. Can you see me? Hi, thank you very much for attending today's webinar. Right, when we talk about presentation design, there are many definitions, or many people would think of a word to represent this presentation design, right? So we do have people talking about attractiveness, engaging, simple, interesting, and those are the words that pops up in the screen, because most likely these are the words that people answer when I ask this, what comes to your mind when we talk about presentation design, right? Thank you for participating. I know that these are the keywords that is in your mind when we talk about design, especially slides. Okay, so in this hour, I will start off with an introduction. Of course, we'll set some context of what is happening and what is presentation design per se. Then I will walk you through about the understanding of audience and informations. Any presentation, we must have audience. If not, we are presenting something that nobody is listening to, right? So we have to understand what is the relationship between the audience and the informations that you want to convey, right? So next is we will deep dive into the core of today's topic, which is the 4 key principles in the presentation design, right? So these 4 key principles is the design principles that I apply when we design slides. And lastly, I will take some Q&A in this webinar. So we will end up with Q&A. So this webinar will be recorded, right, for replay. So I will share the link for you all if you all want to replay. So you don't need to snap picture or record anything of this. I will share a link of this webinar, right? So for those who are camera shy, or for those who are not comfortable in front of the camera, please turn off your camera, right? Like me, I'm turning off my camera because I'm camera shy. Yeah, no, just joking only, right? I will turn off my camera for this webinar until the end. I will show up again, because I don't want my face to be distracted and blocking the presentation slides, right? I will see you soon with my face, right? Just continue listening to me with my voice and also the slides. Do enjoy, right? I will turn off my camera now. Do you make presentation as part of your business? Be it for reporting purposes, sales pitching, budget requests, or even if you are students. I understand that there are some students attending here, right? So you are presenting assignments, presenting your projects. So do you make presentation? If you do, please type yes in the chat area, or if you are not, type no if you are not presenting, right? So I'm sure that if you are attending today's webinar, it's because you want to make presentation, right? So I can see, oh, yes, everybody is saying yes. Yeah, presentation is very important as a part of business, especially now when everybody is staying at home. We hop onto virtual presentation or virtual meeting. Slide is the one that is very important to show your message, right? So I'm sure, great, everybody here say yes, you do presentation. If you are attending today's webinar, I can conclude that you know how critical is your slides are to the success of your presentation. And you really want to improve your slides to make it better, right? So we have diverse background and experience among us in this webinar. In terms of creating presentation, in terms of presenting. Okay, let me do a polling to understand how frequent do you make presentation. In a minute, I will launch a poll. Please choose the answer which is most relevant to you. Poll has launched. How frequently do you prepare a presentation? Select one most applicable to you. Whether you do your presentation as a daily, is a bread and butter of your job scope that you need to do, is your responsibility to do. Or you need to do it weekly, monthly, occasionally, right? Or I only present as and when needed, right? When there's a presentation, I will do. If no, then I don't do. Or I seldom present, but it is good to pick up the knowledge. I know that some of you have the privilege and luxury of somebody designing the presentation for you. But it is no harm to learn this skill, because who knows, one day you might need to design your own presentation if you don't have a subordinate or people to design it for you. Right, so yeah, I can see keep coming in. Now we have 111. What a nice number. Okay, 111 participants. Right, so 90 over of you have answered. Okay, I should stop the work now. Let me show you the result. 90 over of us answer this work, answer this poll, and ta-da, the answer is here. 18% of you are saying that you have to rely on presentation daily. Is your bread and butter. Right? 37% say you do it weekly and monthly. Maybe these are the people who always do reporting every week. Okay, your project management office is keep chasing you for reports. Right? And well, quite a number of you saying that you are occasionally, as and when only you do if it's needed. And 3% of you, lucky you, the 3% that you seldom mix presentation. But thank you for joining today's webinar. I know that you will pick up something at the end of this webinar. Okay, well, whether you make presentation daily or occasionally, I'm sure the following might relate to you. Your slides looks ordinary or boring. Or you spend too much time creating slides and are feeling frustrated. You have feedback from your boss, your superior, or even your supervisor or lecturer that you need to work on your PowerPoint skills. Or more importantly, your audience is not paying you enough attention throughout your presentation. Do you have this type of symptom while designing a presentation? Yes or no? Let me know. Give some response. Yes or no? Yeah, I can see many of you. One of these will applicable to you if you are presenting anyway. Well, this is what we call death by PowerPoint. I'm sure you heard about this sentence called death by PowerPoint. Don't be surprised. What you can see right now on the screen is a presentation done in a large conference organized by one of the largest banks in Malaysia. I don't name which bank, but one of the largest banks in Malaysia. The speaker is presenting such a manner. How do you feel sitting through this type of presentation? I'm sure you have the answer, but don't type it in the chat box, right? I'm sure you have your answer in your mind. I do have the answer. Right? I'm sure you all can relate this. There are over 300 million PowerPoint users in the world. Wow, 300 million PowerPoint users. And more than 30 million presentations every day. And the number will increase with the current situation where everybody is now sitting at home, having virtual meeting. Presentation slides is the most important tools for you to deliver your message. Right? PowerPoint is just a tool. As the same like others, if you are using Mac, Keynote is the tool. If you are one of the more trendy, fancy looking, you want Prezi as a tool. But if you misuse the tool, the point that you want to convey will become powerless point. A PowerPoint supposed to give oomph to your point, but now become powerless because you misuse the tool. That is why I can understand how you feel about the powerless point. I was once created such slides too. You see that, right? These are the slides many years back when I started designing or do presentation. Can anyone tell me what's wrong with these slides? Please type in the chat area. What's wrong with these slides? Busy, yeah. Someone say busy? Too wordy, too busy, yeah. It's the same words that you all keep repeating. Yeah, because everybody does the same. What I mean how does the same is that low quality of image, bad choices of colors. You can see I mix up all the colors just like having festive season, right? Small text, poor contrast, right? Poor contrast. But don't worry, we have to realize that poor slide like this is not our fault, especially because we have done our best to improve it. Don't you agree? Right? The real issue is we couldn't get the right kind of help. Like me, many years back when I start presenting, when I start designing slides, there isn't any much help outside there. Pretty much every book, courses, workshops on presentation design or PowerPoint give us incomplete knowledge. Most of us know how to use PowerPoint, but not many know how to make the slide more effective to not just tell, but also show the message out. That is why I meant show and tell your message. You see, how different are these slides that now I'm creating? There are large text, pictures, we leverage on diagrams, illustrations, and charts. These are the things that what we are using to apply to make our slides effective. Right. Throughout my journey in creating slides, I have identified 21 common mistakes to avoid in designing presentation slides. These have been captured in a book and I normally give out during my training and workshop. So I do repeat these 21 common mistakes also, but these become as my guide every time I design so that I will not repeat these common mistakes. So any one of you want this copy? Any one of you want a copy of this? Yeah, I can see many of you wish to have this, right? You attend my training and workshop, sure you will get one copy. Yeah. But hold on. I know that everybody is typing yes, you want it and send it to you, right? Hold on, I will let you know how to get this at the end of this webinar. So please stay tuned until end of today's webinar, right? Let's get started with some introduction. Before we proceed, let me introduce myself. Who's the heck of Irvin Hall? I know I can see some of my past students, you know me very well. I have my friends also joining, but I think most of you first time listening to me, not seeing me, okay? Because we can't see in person with the social distancing right now. Yeah, first time listening to me, right? Who's the heck of Irvin Hall? Right? Irvin, I am passionate in designing persuasive design presentation slides. I have a strategy in mind in information design, visual storytelling, and data visualization. I work and also have an extensive knowledge, consulting knowledge, and working experience in the organization listed there, right? Mainly doing some special projects, strategy development, and operational optimization for private and public sector. And I founded PowerVisualStorytelling, serving local and international clients, be it as a design job or a training on not PowerPoint. PowerPoint is just a tool, it's a skills, but how to leverage on PowerPoint to make effective slides. That is what is my core training. Right, enough of introducing myself. Let's jump into more details. When we talk about presentation, there are three most important elements in a presentation: content, design, and the delivery. When we talk about content, it's about information and data that you have. And the design here, we're talking about the tools, the PowerPoint, Keynote, Excel, and the public speaking here, we are talking about how you deliver, how you use body language, how you use your tone, your voice, right? All this and your vocal. But each of these combinations serve different value. If you have content and you design it, it gives better clarity to your audience. If you have content, but you don't design, you just verbalize it, it gives engage. That's why all the storyteller, right, they are very engaging. Although they never show anything, but they can make use of their vocal, their body language to tell the content, to make it more engaging. But if you have design and you deliver it well, this is where the advertisement and all these things you can see, they give an impactful value out of the content. But what eventually the most critical thing that we want to achieve is the core of combination of the content, design, and the delivery is to influence. And the influence here, we use visual storytelling, because alongside with our voice and our words, our slides are the most important instrument in the presentation. Don't you agree? Right? And we should learn to use them as effectively as we can through visual storytelling. So, but how? You must be wondering and asking me, Irvin, how? What does that mean? What makes your slide effective? How to make our slide effective? But hold on, yeah. There's a lot of things. You need to know the principle to make it effective. Let's take a step back and look at why we are presenting in the first place. What's the goal of a presentation? At first glance, you might think each presentation is different, right? So can you let me know what's the goal of a presentation? I know that some of you just now say you need to do presentation every day, every week, every month. Or some say, oh, as and when only I do. But yeah, as and when, but I want to know why you want to do a presentation. What is the main objective or main goal that you are doing presentation? Some say want to convey message. Yeah, close deal. Yeah, it's very important, right? Closing deal to persuade, inspire, get a decision. Communicate. Yes, this is one. A general term. A presentation usually relates or is a subset of a communication. Inform, motivate, inspire. Yeah, Irene Chong. Right? So, be it you are doing a lot of presentation, we can categorize presentation into these 4 categories. One is to inform. Inform as in you just convey some information through a report. Or you teach by explaining something to your audience. Or you persuade, this is what people want to say, close sales, I want to close sales, I want to get budget, I want to persuade people to pitch my idea, to pitch my message so that I can persuade people to engage me. To inspire, right? So I want people to motivate, inspire, to change or do something, right? There are endless of goals of what a presentation is for. And no 2 presentations will be the same. Why? Because each and every presentation are different. Whether you want to do pitching, drama, explanation, report, you can mix and match even 2 of these combinations. You can see some will do some drama first, talking about, oh, how bad is my situation after I managed to find this product. Wow, now this product is like helping me not just bring up my health, but also helping me to earn more extra income. This is the pitching part that comes in, right? So I think most of you might relate to what I have narrated, right? Talking about the situation, talking about the product, talking about the change in your life, and then asking people to buy this product. Right? So this is very relevant. We heard this story many, many times. But yet at the heart of it, every presentation are different, but one thing in common. Your number 1 goal as a presenter is to allow your audience to absorb your information. Whether you are trying to teach, convince, motivate, even frighten, or sell or inspire, it's your responsibility to make easier for your audience. This is all ties in what we call the term as cognitive load, right? In presentation, the amount of mental activity happening in your audience brain while listening to you throughout the presentation, their brain is keep processing and keep doing a lot of activity. Some might doing problem solving in their mind when you are keep talking. Like you, I'm sure some of you doing problem solving. And some activated the memory while you are talking. Like some of you might be now memorizing what is Irving talking about, right? Some maybe give a perception look. Okay, wow, is this true or not? Yeah. So everybody is having different way of mental activity right now when someone is presenting in front. So this required to accomplish a goal. The goal of a presenter is to make them absorb the information that we want. No doubt the ultimate goal, if you want to close sales, you want to motivate them, but at the end, it's the information. That's where I say the audience and the informations are interrelated. So when we design slides, we should minimize the cognitive load to the greatest degree possible. When we talk about effective slides, what does it mean by effective slides? I'm sure everybody joined today's webinar is to learn how to do effective slides, right? We mean slides that help to reduce cognitive load. So how? How do we create effective slides? What is the thing that we should apply to make our slide effective? How do we create a compelling and to help our audience understand and absorb the information that we are going to convey? That's where in the next section, I want to share the 4 key principles of slides design so that you can create more compelling slides and help your audience absorb the information you are presenting. So the 4 key principles is easy to understand and easy to remember too. We heard a lot of C's, right? These 4 C's is very important if you are presenting design slides. The C here means clean, convert, contrast, and consistency. Let us go through every of these key principles. Let us start with the first C, which is clean. Our first principle is clean. Clean here means we maximize our signal, minimize our noise. What does it mean? This principle comes from the theory of signal to noise ratio. Oh, Erwin is talking about theory. Of course, I will not bore you with this theory, but this is very important, this theory. I will not explain the theory, but will talk to you about the concept of this theory. Okay, this is the concept that in every type of communication, just like I saw somebody mention that communication, presentation is part of the communication, right? We have there is a certain amount of relevant information to us, which is the signal that align to us that the information that we want to know. And there's a certain amount of irrelevant information to us, which is the noise, right? With good designs, we want to maximize the signal and minimize the noise, ending up with mainly relevant information rather than irrelevant information. Right? So what does it mean? I think there are many ways to do that, but these are the 2 approaches that I use most of the time, or even I convey these 2 approaches to my students that attending my workshop. Firstly, focus on the purpose of your presentation. Secondly, don't distract. These are the 2 main approaches for you to maximize your signal and minimize the noise. Let's go into the first approach. Maximize signal, minimize noise. Focus on the purpose of your presentation. Just now we talked about there are 4 main goals in your presentation, right? Information, you inform, you teach, you persuade, you inspire. When we talk about inform, just now I'm saying we use reporting style. So this is what we want our audience to think and agree on your information by building understanding on your topic, adding new data, adding new information to something they already know, right? To teach, perhaps you want to explain something, right? You want your audience to learn and practice. To teach your audience new skills by sharing new insights or show them how to do something useful. To persuade is to pitch. You want to your audience to do and act on something, right? Convince your audience to act and a problem using your solution. And lastly, inspire is the drama. You want them to feel and believe whatever that you say, so that motivate your audience to adopt a new approach and or attitude and act accordingly. So these are the 4 things that in any presentation will fall into, right? But how how to approach this? We usually apply the 3X structure. So the 3X structure is none other than 2 times when teacher asks you, can you write an essay for me? Can you do karangan for BM bahasa topic, right? So the 3X basically is the main body of your presentation. So be it you are doing scientific, technical presentation, sales presentation, management report, demo, project management, updates, training, program management, there are ways for you to structure your presentation nicely so that it's in tune with what your audience want to hear, right? So there are some ways. If you are doing technical sales management report, you can start off with this problem, opportunity, solution, and benefits. If you are doing reporting most of the time, you can talk about situation first, complication, and resolution. If you are talking about workflow, demo, project management, you can line up your presentation using 3 steps. If you are doing updates, training, project management, you can talk about topic 1, topic 2, topic 3, right? So all these things is being structured so that your audience can follow through your presentation. This is how we maximize the signal and minimize the word by focusing on the purpose of your presentation. Understand? Right. So everybody got it? Am I going too fast, too slow? Let's get some response in your chat group. Doing okay? If okay, just type okay. So if you want me to slow down, just let me know, slow down. Okay, everybody, all good, yeah. All right, let's continue, very good. Now, the next approach in the clean principles, which is to maximize signal and minimize words, is to throw out the distraction. What do you mean throw out the distraction? If you happen to see this slide, if you happen to design this slide, your audience must be thinking, oh no, I can't follow, what are you presenting? What did they say about? This speaker is just reading from the slides. Am I supposed to read or am I supposed to listen to you? It's too much text, too wordy, right? I'm sure you heard about all these phrases when you design, or even you yourself, say out those phrases when you see some presentation like this, right? One way of being distracting is having too much text. All of us know, right? The moment you have a slide like this, people will stop listening to you. Because they are either distracting by trying to read your slides or get distracting trying to read and listen at the same time. But what we should do, basically, there's nothing that makes an audience tune out faster than being overloaded with the slides content. Sometimes we try to make so many points. We try to put up many points. They say, okay, I'm very, very sure that my audience will get it. I just force in every point that I want to convey. But that is not the way to do slides. Remember that your slides are only there to support, not to replace your talk. Less is more, people always say. Don't fill the slides with words. Simplify the sentence. Remove unnecessary words by taking only the main points. If you have right now, after this webinar, go back to your presentation slides, look at those wordy slides. Give some time for yourself, sit down and read through the sentences, pick up the key points that you want to present, not the whole sentences or paragraph, right? Let's say like this, an example. I just highlighted all the key points in the particular bullet points or paragraph. Then with that, I will restructure it. Remember the keys? People always say keys, keep it simple and straightforward. That means keywords only on your slides. Absolutely no full sentences and never read your slides. So this is what keys mean. So once you have throw out all other unnecessary words, only remains keywords, then you restructure it into this. For sure, you say, Irvin, this is still not the effective slides. Yeah, because we only learned the first principle, which is very crucial to minimize your noise and maximize the signal. If you can come to this point, it's your audience already, say good enough for them already, because you summarize the key points, what they should take away, instead of asking them to read through whole of your presentation. So the second principles that we want to learn on top of this, you have learned the first principle, you minimize all the noise. Now, second principle, we want to convert. Our second principle, convert, meaning we speak with visual. Arvind, what is this mean by speak with visual? When I speak is voice, how come visual, right? These principles come from a picture superiority effect, which states that information recall is better when combined text and images together. When your audience see a picture and hear what you are saying, they can recall or they can remember better. So rather than relying on purely text alone, we should be using visuals to support what you are saying. People remember things better if they are absorbing that info both in text and in visual way. Why visual? Okay, a research shown that 65%, you want it or not, in any presentation, 65% of your audience are visual learner, 30% are auditory learners, and lastly, only 5% are experiential or kinesthetic learners, right? So 65%. If you don't agree, okay, let us do some tests over here. Okay, our visual minds never sleeps. You can see what is on the screen right now, right? I don't want you to type anything. You just stare on the screen and you can see there's an object which is very big and unique color, right? Staring enough of the screen? All right. Now, I want you to close your mind. Not close your mind. You can't close your mind. You must be thinking all the time, right? Close your eyes. Close your eyes and close your eyes. Yeah, please close your eyes right now. Okay, close your eyes. And please not to think about the pink elephant that I shown you just now. How big is the pink elephant? Is the pink really pinkish? Okay, open your eye. Open your eye, everybody. Open your eye. Open your eyes. Right, you see. Any of you still thinking about the pink elephant while you close your eyes? While that I'm talking? Please respond in the chat whether do you think about the pink elephant while you are closing your eyes? Yes. Yeah, Madhu say yes. Joyce, yes. Everybody say yes, yes, yeah. Because, why? Do you know why? Because human beings are hardwired to process images quicker than textual information. As fast as 30 milliseconds, according to one of the latest study, right? If I see something, it straight away registers in my mind, especially if something that is unique and different, like the pink elephant here, right? So let's give another try. If I were to ask you to design a slice, a one-pager slice with the information here for a town hall, right? Monthly sales summary, December 2019. Men's department achieved 50% sales target. Women's department achieved 70% sales target. If you were to design this one, okay, I will give you 1 minute. You can draw it out, or you can, imagine in your mind and how you want to design this slice. Okay, 1 minute slides now. How are you going to design this slice? Some say in the chat, a pie chart. Yes, pie chart. Well, because you see a percentage there, then you straight away relates to pie chart. Yeah, I don't blame you, but yeah, it's what part of the people will think. Kelvin, typography. Yeah, you should know the answer, Kelvin. I know you know the answer. Bar chart. Yeah, another chart. Because it's all about data, so that's why we can see a lot of charts. Big text, yes. Okay, so I'm sure Erica, not bad, use picture of men and women, a toilet sign. Okay, so how we approach? Who will approach with this? Just copy the text and put into the slides. or even tada, show icon because it's about sales, so I want to show it some charts to increase. Any one of you to think of these slides? Say yes in the chat. No one dare to say. I'm sure. Yeah, please be true to yourself. Never mind if you don't think about this. Never mind if you don't want to answer. Never mind. I'm sure some of you think about this slide, and most of you will do this slide. Just now I see many of you will say pie chart because of percentage. I use pie chart. Yes. This is very general. Everybody will use this chart. In the corporate world, you can see a lot. If we show percentage, straight away jump into pie chart. But pie chart is not the right chart or not the useful chart to use. So if I were to talk about pie chart, I can use half an hour, but I will not do this in this webinar because we are talking about the principle of design and not about data design. Okay, what is the most effective slide is like this. Yeah, somebody say use men and women's icons. Yeah, this looks like a bit of toilet sign, but yeah, but no choice. I just want to show the image, right? I use big text, images, contrast, colors, great title to do my charts. So this will bring the effective visualization increase when we also make our audience engage. The effectiveness here meaning that we use less text, show only relevant information. Engaging here we means that we use images and build contrast. So this is how we should approach in order for you to get effective and engaging presentation design. So another way of using this speak with visual, use visual to support what you are saying. Images, icons, and shapes and design or diagrams are the one that can help to support your presentation. Like, still remember this simplified slides, which our first key principle we have learned. Now, we want to make it more effective by adding pictures, right? So if you add relevant pictures, image are the key elements of every presentation. Your audience want to see what you are talking about, and a good visual cue will help them understand your message much better. We add images to reinforce and complement the main points, making it more memorable. So the keyword is reinforce and complement. Don't simply look for pictures and put, right? If the pictures can't really fit into the keywords, don't force it in, right? Image help makes your presentation more visual, but don't get carried away with too many pictures in one slice. Or else, alternatively, use icons to enrich minimal content by empowering key points without all the wordiness. Because why somebody likes to use icons instead of images, right? Icons are universal, right? Like the toilet sign, female, we know that it's a toilet, right? So icons are universal. It allows your audience to identify with that corresponding icon as an aid to represent your message. Straight away, they see this icon, it will straight away relate to certain thing. That is why we call icons are universal. All good? Right? So, we see, we learn about how we condense the noisy slides into a more informative. Then now we make use of pictures, image, icons. And the next thing I want to talk about, diagrams. So if sometimes you don't use pictures, icons, we use diagrams. Diagrams here, if you want to talk about processes, cycle, timeline, sequence, right? Usually we combine with shapes and connected it with diagrams so that it can convey the message saying, oh, looks like a flow, a process, right? If you have a network like a mind map, cluster, ecosystem, or radio, or web, these are the ways that how we use. So make use of diagrams like this, processes. Okay, these are many types of diagrams, right? You can make one of yourself, or you can make use of ready templates out there. Just copy and paste, right? So it's very easy. Some of these, maybe you can use metaphor. If you talk about project status, whether it's is a red light or green light, amber or green, right? So we can use the traffic light methods, right? So these are metaphor. We use visual. Right? So if you want some resources where to get all these diagrams, icons, fonts, colors, you can take a picture of this, or else later part you can replay my video so that you can know where are the resources you can get all these things. Right. So come to the third C, which is contrast. Once we have simplified our slides, no more text-heavy slides, now we replace it with visuals. Next, what is the third principle is to make it more contrast, make important message stand out. So again, let's go back to some theory. I will bore you with theory again. Humans are more likely to remember things that are noticeably different than things that are common, right? If you think that about making things look more unique and distinctive, so that it stands out, so that people can remember, wow, just like the pink elephant just now, right? We never see pink elephant before, but in the picture, if you show pink elephant, it will register in your mind. So how we approach it? We approach it by use of contrast to direct our audience attention. So just look at this picture. Where is your focus right now? It will direct you to, because there's a contrast. This used in, if you are in photography, this is very common to you, a photographer, right? You build contrast. Your eyes straight away attract to the signboard of 80 miles per hour or kilometer per hour. So it depends on which location you are in, right? Okay, so this picture, where is your focus? Your focus to the sun, right? Sunset. This one, where is your focus? This one a bit tricky. Because you see, there is different color. It's very confusing. I don't know where I might focus. It depends on personal now. If I like yellow color, I will focus on yellow color. If I am the one prefer red color, I will focus red color. Blue color. But as a presenter, I should make it more easy. Still remember the cognitive load. We should lower down the thinking, the processing of your audience memory. So what we should do, we should like make it more defined, make it more focused to where your audience should look into in your presentation. So what technique we can do in order for us to make focus? We can make important message stand out by using contrast to direct audience attention. You can make use of size, color, shapes, shades, proximity, meaning that you accidentally, purposely make some parts of your words out of alignment. So people will straight away attract. Are you intentionally or unintentionally to do this, right? Your mind the audience will focus on it. So viewer immediately perceive the difference between the attributes of two or more things. If you combine two or more of these, it will give more impact to your audience to focus their attention to. Like this. This sentence is very general. 25% increase in sales revenue for new product. So if you see this, where is the focus? Where is the emphasis? Can anyone type in the chat box? What should I emphasize for this sentence? Well, 25%. Yeah. Everybody is talking about 25%. Yeah, because I want to tell people 25% increase sales revenue for new audience. That's why when I design slides, I should make my audience focus on that number. That is where I should design this. Make my text big. This is why some people will say by leveraging on typography, right? I make use of the size of the font, or make use of the font type to make it different so that your audience straight away look at that number instead of the whole sentence. right? This is one also relates to, I know that nowadays many of you do virtual presentation. So now that the audience is closer to your screen, right, you not really purposely to make the size bigger. You could use a slightly. So this is quite a strength that we can do, because now people are looking at the screen instead of sitting through your presentation in a meeting room or what. So when people are close to the screen, you can now make use of a smaller text. Normally presentation font that we have some size font, but now because of we are closer to the screen, we can use a more smaller font, especially if you view on a monitor or something similar. If not, your phone, now people can enlarge it, right? Pinch it to enlarge it. But if you are presenting, if you know that all your audience are viewing on the phone or tablets, then please don't use big font. Please use big font, sorry. Please use big font if your audience now is viewing from the phone. I'm sure that some of you are viewing from the phone or tablets right now. The rule of thumb for the new normal of presenting virtually is the screen size goes down, font size goes up, right? If the screen size is getting smaller and smaller, like a phone or tablet, your font should be increased, right? So that is the rule of thumb. Okay, like this one, I build contrast. So by looking at these slides, where should I focus? In the crowd, my message is that who is my target audience among the crowd? So I straight away look at the person that have face. Other than that, all others no faces, right? Same thing for this. I build contrast. I want a contrast to show my words, because I don't want to transparent or dim out my nicely looking undersea world, right? So I build a contrast by giving a shape at the back of the wordings, and I transparent it a bit so that it gives a contrast to make my words stands out. If you are presenting data, to make contrast is that you want your audience to focus on the key numbers that you want to say. Let's say this chart, by the way, this for illustration purposes, right? The numbers are not real, and I don't work for Volkswagen, right? So let's say I say, okay, Jetta is $120,000. So I want to say the sales performance, right? For this, the price of Jetta, right? So I built a purpose by just enforce the particular bar in my chart to different colors so that it can brings out the message. Same thing for this, right? Singapore external trade down 6.8% March 2016. I don't know whether the statistics is real or not. Sorry for Singaporean if you are there, right? This for illustration purposes, right? So see, I build contrast. I still want to maintain the image, which is nicely looking landscape of Singapore by the Marina Bay, right? So I just want to build contrast. Same, if you have something like this, I can build contrast between idea and reality, right? I am sure if you are advanced PowerPoint user, there's one called creative word. You can convert your image to a creative, whether it's hand-drawn or whatsoever, right? Leverage on that so that you can build contrast on idea and reality. So we have learned all the three key principles. All good before we move on to the fourth principles. The fourth key principle is consistency. Consistency drives clarity. The approach here we are talking about is to express similar parts with similar way. When we hear about consistent, I think most of you will relate. Yeah, I heard somewhere, I learned somewhere, I see somewhere, I read somewhere saying that consistency in my presentation must be consistent. I must use the same font all the way. I must use the same color, the same background, and same layout. Yes, all these are true. And if you are in the corporate world, the consistency of font, color, and background and all these things has been taken care of by your marketing or branding with the brand policy. You cannot change the color, you cannot change the layout, you cannot change the background. It's all there, right? But that's not what I mean by consistency. The consistency in design, apart from those that I have mentioned, the font, the color, the background, and the layout, Consistency is defined like this. All right, I will bore you with another theory. I'm talking a theory again, but bear with me. The usability of a system is improved when similar parts are expressed in similar ways. So when we are talking about consistency in slides design, it's about making sure that those slides that are similar look and feel the same way. I think slides are similar if they have a similar purpose. I keep repeating, I'm too mouthful. A lot of similar word. But what at the end is that we want to express similar parts in a similar way. So this is how we identify a slides pattern. We are talking about patterns, not just about the color, the things and those things. The pattern is the keyword here. Once you know what type of slides you have to use all the time, just like this, you have been followed through my whole presentation is more than 45 minutes. Just like how you follow through my presentation. I start off with the talk about the principle by just one slide, with a big picture slides, the heading slides, bold and contrast to stand out. Then I have the explanation slides to talk about the key principles one by one. Then I follow with slides, multiple slides to walk you through what is the content for the particular key principles. So this is one set of patterns for a particular content. Then we repeat it again by using the same pattern. But if you want to play with a more contrast, you can play with colors. Okay, perhaps this one I use blue a lot, this set. The next set, different key principles, I use red perhaps. Different key principles, I use green perhaps, so that it gives a different patterns for your presentation. So this is how it looks if we line up in a thumbnail view. So you see that the consistency is there, where I use the same layout, the same pattern for each of my section, right? So we have covered all the 4 principles. Let me now come back to the screen. Hi, you can see me. Can you see me now? And please respond a bit if you can see me. Yeah, you can see my face now. All right, so we have covered all the 4 key principles. The principles we are talking here, which the 4 key principles. Right? Key principles are the 4 key principles of slide design. Let's recap. Clean, convert, contrast, and consistency are the 4 main things, the 4 C's, always remember. So let's summarize it. Clean, here we are talking about how to maximize your signal, minimize your noise. Focus on the purpose of your presentation and don't distract. Second principle, convert. Speak with visual. Not to speak with your voice, but speak with visual, meaning that use visual to complement, to support what you are saying. Contrast, the third principle. Make important message stand out. Use contrast to direct your audience attention by applying color, different font, different sizes, right? And last principle is to build consistency. Consistency drives clarity, which express similar parts with similar ways. So these are the 4 main key principles, right? So we end with our 4 key principles, but the session of webinar not end yet, right? I still need to take on some questions that maybe you pops up in your mind when I talk about these 4 key principles. But before I take questions, just as I say, I'm giving out these 21 common mistakes to avoid, right? I'm sure most of you having the common mistake also. Me also, I personally also quite repeating some of the common mistakes, but this is the book that I keep referring and I documented it or make it as a book. So just now you all say want, right? Most of you say want. So how can you get this book? It's in ebook basically. Evaluate my session evaluate today's webinar. You can scan the QR code or you can type in the link here. You can do it now or you can do it later. Maybe you can snap a picture. Evaluate my webinar today. Give your feedback on my presentation. On top of that, who wants this? tips to speak with power and confidence. I do publish one book of this. This one is more to public speaking, how to speak more confidently and powerfully in any situation. Okay, if you want this book, so add on to one thing, what I want you to do is to participate in the survey, right? There's a link, there's a QR code. So if you do all these two, I will send these two ebook to you. You can avoid common mistake and you can read through how to make your presentation more powerful, more confident in any situation. There's a lot of tips. I think about 100 over tips inside there and some bonuses inside there also. Okay, so now for those who want to stay on, ask me question. I know that I have took up some of the extra time. I think 5 minutes of extra. But nevertheless, I hope that you learn a lot. The 4 key principles is quite important in any of the presentation design, right? So for those who wants to stay on to ask questions, yeah, I will stay on for a while to take up some questions. If not, you can anytime drop me an email. I'm sure that you receive email notification from me, Erwin Hall at PowerVisualStorytelling.com. That email is my personal email. You can reply to that email of any questions that you have. If not, you can stay on for a while to ask questions in the chat box. Right, so let me take some questions if you have. Wow, it's too fast, all the questions coming. Okay. Okay, is there any link to a webinar replay? Yes, there will be a link to a webinar replay. I will show you the link where to get it later on. Basically, if you can see this link, bit.ly/VL Festival. So in that, but not today, we need to populate the video. So once the video is out, we will show into this. Okay, for those who want to join, basically, this webinar is in conjunction of a festive, 1 week long festive webinar that our teacher, which is Inte Nazrin, that so kind that teach us how to, run webinars in a big way, right? We have other students who also do webinars, like the coming up, which today is the last day basically. The coming up after lunch 2 to 3, Kelvin Law will talk about EQ, Shafina will talk about employee onboarding, and sustainability topic will talk about Jianming 4 to 5. Do join them if you have time. Go to the bit.ly/VL Festival. Go there and then you can join their festival. Or you can replay my video. Or if you like my Facebook and also subscribe to my channel, YouTube channel, I will be uploading that video also into that 2 platforms, right? So keep like my Facebook and Facebook page, PowerPoint Advisor, or the channel, Power Visual Storytelling YouTube channel, right? So come back to questions. So I think some of you asked question, I don't know where. Right. Philip is asking, I'm so sorry because it's too much way up there. I can't afford to scroll. If I miss your questions, do forgive me. I will answer as and when. If I miss your question, do email me. I will try to answer in the email. So for those who want to participate in that, this thing, to get these two, do join in, right? Oh, so I keeps changing. Right. Okay, let me read the text. Okay, any questions? Sir,
so Giam has a question. Some info is so important and need to be wordy. So how can we go with it?
All right. So thanks for the questions. So if you think that is wordy, try to make use of the contrast. If you think that those very important, perhaps make use of highlighting it, make it bold, or use italic. So I'm sure that some kind of paragraph you think that you can't miss out. But most of the time, if you really sit and think about shortening it, pick up the keywords, really is important. Pick up only the keywords. Reserve all your sentences, your paragraph into the notes or printouts so that you can read from the printouts or the notes. For your presenter, just give them keynotes to see, not to read, all right? Okay, hope I answered this.
And there's another question from Raju.
Yeah,
He
Raju.
is asking, what is the ideal size good for presentation?
Size as in font size, you mean?
Maybe is the presentation slide size?
All right. Okay. I don't know which size that you're mentioning. There are two. But 16 by 9 is the longish type of presentation. So if you are presenting in an LED screen, we will choose 16 by 9. Right? Some will be like squarish. That one is good for a screen, which is projection screen, which you have the white screen. That one is good to use that size. If you are referring to font size, then I will have different answer. The font size here, it depends on the font type that you use. I can't say keep to 20 size because you might be using a different font size, or your company might have a brand policy using this different font size. The font size might be, if 20 is a bit small, right? You must know how to adjust it according. It's a trial and error. Right? But that's a joke. People say, always design your slides, the font size, the oldest participants, the age of the oldest participants divided by 2. I don't know how true is that. Maybe you can try. Let's say in your presentation, you're presenting to an audience that 80 years old, right? 80 years old in your presentation hall. You use 80 divided by 2. That is the size that you should present or you should use. I don't know how true is it. I never try. Okay, disclaimer, I never try. Maybe it's a joke, maybe it's true. I don't know. Maybe you can try and let me know. Perhaps, yeah. Sorry, some say okay.
Okay. There is another question.
Yeah, I lost.
He was asking, what are your thoughts on animated visuals? Example, animated icons in presentation deck. Too distracting?
Okay, that is a part that I never mentioned that is more advanced. You have to go through these 4 principles first. There's another principle that is very useful, which is relates to the third one. Still remember building contrast. When building contrast, is the one that you need to guide the flow of your audience to see things, not just looking at it, staring at it, but also the flow. Animation, I can suggest you use it on purpose. Don't simply say, wow, this is very beautiful, this is very interactive, let's use this icon that is moving around, right? No, it's no, right? So think about the purpose of your presentation. If your presentation is to guide your audience to flow through your content, then make use of the animation, right? If the animation, you want the purpose to make sure that your audience will see through step by step, then you use animation to review it step by step instead of simply use animation, right? If you think that you want to use animation just nice to capture the attention, I suggest you not to use it on purpose, right? Use it on purpose, you see, right? I hope I answer your question. Right, any other questions? Are there any sites or resource you could recommend for photo? Yeah, just now Vivian asked about this, right? Yes, just now I did show, which is, can't reach page already. If you want to capture the screen, if not, this video will be published. You can go back there. Too many slides to go through back. Maybe this one. Vivian, if you are still around, Vivian, capture this one. This is very informative resources. You can go in. Some are free, some is a freemium. Maybe you can need to subscribe to get certain images free before you need to subscribe. Okay, so let's go back all the way.
There's another question from Cheng.
Yeah.
If I have to create many slides, example 100 slides, how to cut it down? Should I put it in different parts?
Okay, if you have 100 slides, I'm sure you will not present all the 100 slides. I'm sure if you mention to your audience 100 slides, most of them already left your meeting room or your presentation hall, right? So try to cut down. Use the 4 principles to cut down. The first principle is very important, which is to minimize the maximize the signal, minimize the voice noise, right? Look through, lay out all your 100 slides. Which are the slides? Section it, categorize it to the section that you want to show. Like just like I mentioned, if you are presenting a sales, you must have a situation, then your offering and the benefits, right? So section it, and after you section it, try to cut down the slides to only show the actual key that you want to show, right? I'm sure that you can cut down, right? 100 slides is too much. Right? It also depends on what are you going to present. There's a lot of other things because in 1 hour webinar, I can't talk through the whole thing. There's also one thing that you need to concern about the style of learning of your audience, whether your audience is a person who is very dominant, right? I'm sure you heard about DISC, right? A dominant person, influence person, or a structured person, right? If your audience, you know your target audience is a dominant person, the dominant person usually want to see things that is straight to the point. Tell me what you want to show, what you want to tell me, instead of giving me 100 slides. You pick all those slides that you want to show, you want to tell, that you want to get result out from the audience that is sitting through it. So if you know it's a dominant person, sure, let's show only the thing that you want to show, right? So I can't talk through the whole thing. It will take me some other time. Right, perhaps I will follow me in a Facebook group or a YouTube channel, or connect with me. I might do a webinar on how to identify your audience in order to design your presentation. Right. I will stop the Q&A session now. If you have more questions, just connect with me, email me, or if you have my connect, just drop me a message. Right. I will end this quote. Let's speak visually. Put words into shapes and turn data into stories. Irvin Hall signing off. That's my email address, the website, and the channels that you can reach through me. Right? With this, thank you very much. For Muslim friends who celebrate Raya tomorrow, Selamat Hari Raya. And for those who are not really, but stay safe, stay home, and keep healthy. And happy holidays to all. Right? Bye. Hope you enjoy.